Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So, a lot of things we went over last week, we forgot them. And the leg work. The leg work is still something that we have to, try to understand better. It's the knee and the ankle. You got to get your knee to come forward in your stances. Everybody's bending, but they're not actually pushing it forward. So you want to get that to happen more, because that's something that's been a habit that all your life been walking, and we really don't push our knees forward. So that's not a normal thing, So when you project your forward to go beyond that point, or pushing it forward doesn't become part of the normal motion, so it's not ingrained enough for it to become an action. But without that action, you can't get into your stance. Without the knee doing this doesn't fold. So we can bend our knees. Without doing that, our butt has to go out. If you bend your knees and the ankle goes up, then your body goes down vertically. So that's how you sort of find that vertical line if you're like this. So when we sink in Tai Chi, it's like this. If we set up our hands and we're in this position and we sink, if the knees don't go out, you can't relax your hips. So you can't sink down naturally in a vertical line. So without sinking in a vertical line, your body's off balance, out of balance. So, but at the same time, when we do this and we sink, what you're doing is learning to release. Sinking is free falling, right? So if you bend, you're not going to actually get into your stance correctly, because it's inhibited, it's being compromised, because you have tension. When you bend your knees, there's muscular tension in the legs that doesn't allow the joints to release. So when we're here and we step over, if we don't relax the ankle, we can't sink in the stance. So when we get to here, we're not stepping and crossing into the stance. So the butterfly leg work, right? Maybe we should just line up and do a bunch of butterfly stepping, right? We're going to go this way. The Kien Bu, yeah. So the Kien Bu, we've done these before as drills, and when we go through this, we go through it a few times. Lawrence says, hey, we should do that as a drill, but we've been doing that. When we're here, horse stance, and we turn, your legs have to pivot like this, right? We're here, this is what we consider a basic, right? So you want to go, so what do you have to do with the front leg first before you step? You have to straighten it, parallel position, sink down, relax, and then turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll shake it out. So there's a control factor there where you have to set this up to do this. Why do we straighten that out? To measure the direction of your movement. Because this is 45 degrees. If I turn 90, this is 45 degrees. If I turn like this, if this is angled like this and I don't turn it to 45, then when I take my step, I'm actually here, right? Based on the angle of my front foot. So if I turn to here, if I'm already in that direction, I have to straighten a little. This becomes the traditional horse. This is the offset. The 45 line that goes through there should be true. If I go like this, then it'll take me another corner. So if I'm doing this in the Kien Bu, the butterfly, when we step, when I straighten like this, then this goes here, and then I'm here. This foot is already facing that corner. This forms a 90 degree to that position. I step out the offset and I push. I shift forward, go to toe position, step, 1, 2, 3, and it goes in the ball of the foot. Shift, step, push. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, break it down a little finer than that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, shake it out and go back. So again, we'll try it again. Ready? We're here. Horse stance, right, to leaning. 1, that's straightening. 2, right, sinking. Shift. 3, turn. Okay, now here when you step, this is where we lose it a little bit. We have to shift the weight so that we're 100% to there. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Nope, you had to shift first. See, once we cross, look closely when we're here. 1, 2. You see that? That allows me to balance on this leg to bring this. If you go like this, and I don't shift, I'm already kind of falling into that. If I don't shift this weight to here, then I end up doing that. So that would be theoretically double weighted, but the thing is you're controlling the landing. So if you don't shift, you can't control the landing. And then you have to move. You're always moving from 0 to 100. Yeah. Yeah, but your feet are too close together. Yeah, your feet are too close together. Yeah, your feet are too close together because when you take your first step, you're not really in control, so you just kind of get it down before you fall over. So you have to shift your weight, balance on that foot, and then when you step down, I can land because this foot is sinking and this becomes insubstantial until I shift. Once I shift, I have to shift again, and that's where your ankles have to release. 1, 2, 3. So the kuen bu is really cross-legged, but you're shifting. When we're here, when we're in full hawk, when we go like this and we step to the other side, we're usually like that. That's not how the footwork is. You have to, when you step, you're here. There's a agility here. You sink. When you shift to here, allows you to take your next step. When I'm here, allows me to take the step. If you don't have a root in your leg, then you're going to be off balance. So when you do it quick, it goes. But there's no rooting. When you step, shift, then you're into the trapping hand. You can't go from here, and then do that. There's no twisting. There's no sinking. There's no strength in the structure. So that's what we're trying to figure out. But I can try to show you the best I can, but you have to be able to understand what we're doing. Without the understanding of the approach, then it's still blindly practicing it. So you have to understand a kuen bu is this. You sink on this leg to plant, and then you shift. I lift, unweight, sink. So when I'm sinking, it's here to here to here. it's like double sync, triple sync. So, there's multiple syncs in your footwork in order to get into your position, because you're moving. If you're going from here to here, then there appears to be one movement, but that's not what happens. You're in fact going from here to here, right, and then here. When I step to here and I sink, I'm still turning here. So the twist, like in the butterflies, I'm here. I take my step, I sink, and I turn. Right? I shift. I take my step, I shift, and I turn. I shift, I take my step, and I sink. Then I turn. Then I execute. Those interim phases are pretty, subtle, but it's built inside the movement, because without those, you're missing the transition. It just goes from A to B, and it's missing in between. Well, goes A to, there's nothing in between A to B. A to C, you're missing the B. So you have to do something to connect that linkage so that it's not, broken like so. So that's something in the footwork that if you just do it a few times on your own right now, just to see if you can pick it up, it's great doing it as a group. Oh, so here, okay, let's do that again. Okay, now what? Do it facing everybody.
I forgot what the first move is.
He forgot.
Oh, I'm straight.
No, turn around, so you can. Not enough. You confused? Okay, ready, go. Okay, hold. So this is too straight.
This arm?
Both of them. I see parallel. What's parallel? The arm? This is almost parallel to the floor, but you see they're bent. What's a circle? Round, right? So if this, this has to create the roundness. You see, if he sink, he comes down, you see it's round, right? If you just reach out, it's not flat, round enough, right? So when you're round, what happens after you get down? It goes up, right? So how do you get it to go up?
Sink. You sink and you snap the wrist.
Okay, so he sinks, right? But his elbows are tight. So that doesn't go up.
Relax the elbows.
Yeah, because watch.
Too stiff.
Watch here. It goes up because I'm going down. Right? Right? Yeah, but no, make it, okay, do it again. Yeah, so this is too far out. Okay, now, what do you do? Once it goes up, it has to come like this. So when you're here, then it comes to here. Then it comes to here and to here. Because we're doing this, 1, 2, 3, right? That's another sink. Cross step, sink, turn, forward, right? Forward, step, sink, turn, and push. So if you don't have the sink, you don't have the additional dimensional change, and then you can't blend it together. So if we're building, a program in here, and it's missing a couple of things inside the program, then it's going to be lacking. Yeah.
In a lot of these things, in the earlier forms, you say that the back knee is inside.
Yeah.
But he's able to sink more, so it's okay that his booty goes down to the calf.
It can go down the calf, but you don't spread your knees. If you're spreading your knees and it's going down the calves, then you're opening your legs. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to do this. Spread out like this. You don't want, it should be here. Actually, when I'm sinking, I'm not going down my calf. I'm going forward in my knee. If you don't go forward in your knee, then you're going to go down your calf. So you have to move your knee forward. Yeah, now shift. Now come forward. No, the first, yeah, now shift again. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. So it's just something to be aware of. It doesn't mean your body's going to do it immediately. It's just something that you have to be aware of. And when you do it, you try to see if that's happening. But without knowing, you know, when you practice, you could just do it blindly, and you don't really know why it doesn't change or why it feels like that. But when you go scooping down like this, and you rise and you fall, then really that becomes 1, 2, 3. So this becomes the circle. This becomes the twist of the body. Because we're dealing with space. And when you're dealing with space, you have to track the movement. So it's compatible with your direction of movement and naturally evolving with the way your joint is designed. So my hand, this is actually natural because my hands do this. This is natural because my hand does this. Right? This is natural because the hand goes to a cutting hand and this comes across the chest. So when I do this, this is there and this is here, this is there. So how far your hands go, it doesn't look like this. You see, it got off track, right? Do you see the off track? When you go like this, that's off track. It's not compatible with the motion in the body. When you go like this, it should be like this because that's what we've learned, right? This is what we learned. When we're here, when we're here, when we're here, when we're here, 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 here. Right? You're turning your waist and you have to go through vertical and horizontal. It's not, both sides don't even work exactly at the same time because this distance and this distance different, so they can't be moving at the same time. They're moving the same time, but exactly landing at different times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this finishes later. Yeah. If you go like this, then what? It got there at the same time, but it's missing something here. Because when I'm here, this is here, this is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, this comes out first, and then this comes to here. Right? Because this is closer to where you're going. So it's going to get there first. Right? Is it? Yeah. Well, it almost gets to there simultaneously, but the distance traveled on either side is going to be slightly different. So how you coordinate that is really a timing. So if you synchronize your movements, yeah. So while we're focusing on the butterfly form, when you do the cutting hand, if you do the cutting hand, that has to be accurate. When you do a covering hand and a double back fist, that has to be accurate, right? So the accuracy of these and this become part of, you know, a combination of those hand movements to blend the two sides together to do that. So the modern form, the Nanchuan, they don't even make a circle. They just go across the chest. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They just 1, 2, 3. That's how they do a butterfly. That's not actually correct, but that's what they do in the form. But for traditional, it has to be circular. It's not just here to there, right? That's what they do. It looks good, but it's actually not, you know, compatible with the motion. So anyways, yeah. So you want to go through second half again? Because we got the 10 tiger footwork, which we worked on a while. So remember, we're in the butterfly, right? We start off here. This is horse stance. Then what do we do to get to the butterfly? We have to shift. Shift, draw back, turn, and sink. Okay. Push. Step forward, push. Toe out. 1. Cover. 2. Stomp. Hook, turn, and lift. Okay, make sure your elbow's in the right place, right? Okay, next 1. Cover. Cross. Shift. Shift. 1, 2, 3. Turn. 1. Cross. Shift. 2. 1. 2. 3. Okay, close. 1, 2, 3. Okay, shake it out. So we missed something there again, the same shift. The same shift that we talked about. When we're here, when we shift, when we cross, shift, step. If you can't get this foot up light when you're here, it's because you're not in your stance. Then you're not going to get power in the push, because when we're here and we shift, step. Now this is here so that we're light enough to come up, right? So your hand here. So you have to have your weight, and this leg has to be strong enough to take that. So you're here. Then you step. 1. This is 1, 2, 3. Now we turn. And then we do that. This side's the same. 1, 2, 3. The reason why you do that, because you have to get your weight over that supporting leg for the root. So let's try that series again, and then try to get that as a habit. That shift is very important. Without that shift, you really can't get into your stance, and it's always going to be kind of fudging that motion. Ready? Go. Hup. Okay, good. So it's going to take some time to, get that into your movements. That's all. I just bring up the focus on the idea of that. Just like when we're in the butterfly and you push, you step, light here, push. Now here's again, shift. Here again, shift, shift. And then you come in. So it's that supporting leg, the ankle, and if you don't include the ankle, then you can't include the hip. If you just bend the knees, then the hips, and there's not a relationship. So lower body is the hips, the knee, and the ankle. Upper body is the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrists. So those, that relationship has to be built. Okay, continue from there. Oh, do it one more time and continue. One more time and continue. Ready? Yeah. Okay, deep breathing. So do this movement now. Okay. So yeah. So after the punch, then you pivot, cross, and open and close, trap and lift. So okay, let's do. Okay, Lawrence, you're over here. So what's it missing? What's it? No, face this way. Face this way.
That way?
No, this way. This way. Well, like this. Okay. Yeah. Well, we just did that. Now you're gonna go. Go. 1. Go. 2, 3. Okay. So what's he missing? No, before that, right? So Jonathan, you saw it, right? What's he missing? Do that again. Sink. You have to cross over and sink. Sink. You're sinking in the legs, but the hands have to sink, right? So sink. Yeah. So when you sink, yeah. So sinking is not forcefully doing that. Sinking is relaxing your knees, and your body goes down vertically. So you just have to drop like this. Now when you open and you're opening, your chest opens. Now you open, you lift your back, but you don't rise it up in the legs. So in other words, you're here. 1, 2. You stay down, push your knee out, and then roll. Pull your knee back. So, right? So the knee action, go 1. Cross, sink. Relax a little bit, relax. You don't need force, just sink. Step and open. Okay, knee came out, close, the knee goes back. So it goes back a little. Because you have to compensate. So you're here, right? You're here.
So knees go forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Back.
Yeah, so just a little bit, because you're changing your center of, counterbalance your center of mass, which is here, and if you don't control that, then you have to stay pretty stiff. So if you're in motion, you really can't, just free fall. Just hop, open, trap, down, gonna come up, lift, drop down and lift. Yeah. So you use your legs to do the down and rise, the rise and fall. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, because hand, eye, body, waist, and stance. The stance part of it is what this stuff is. You know, without the stance, you can't get the correct body mechanics. Yeah. Okay, lift. Yeah. So not too high. On the other side. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here, right? And then go. Yeah. Do it again. Up. Yeah. Now this is a little open, round. Because this is like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you want to open. Open. That's your. That way you have your imagery. It looks like you're capturing something here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So coordinate, because we're here. Sink, see, relax, sink, lift, sink, lift, sink, lift. So this is exaggerating, but that's kind of what you have to be doing. Because you're coordinating rising and falling, up and down, and the pattern of motion has to be compatible, right? So if I go down, I'm sinking. When I go up, I'm lifting. So that gives you the action. But how does the body sink? It has to bend. You have to, and then your body can round and lift. Now you're straight. 1, 2. Sing. Okay. Okay, that's enough. Lift. Sink in the hips. Yeah. Up. Sink. Let it go. Yeah. Sink. Yeah. Sink. Lift. Good. And lift. And drop. So eventually, when you start to adapt the motion and then you want to use the strength that's correct, sinking is free fall. You don't need strength to go down. You just have to let it go. So then if you bring it down with force, then you bring it up with force, you're wasting energy. You don't need to bring any movement into the downward motion, any strength in it to accelerate it. You just have to release it and it's going to free fall. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up. So the same with your legs. If you release, then you're going to free fall. And you're going to be much more relaxed in the legs so that you can move. So the pivotal stuff is what happens as a course of your feet being, much more agile. So all this stuff that we do is really trying to build that timing and body mechanics. But it does take a lot of, effort, and it's pretty strenuous if you put a lot of physical force into it. So try to get it as natural as possible. So when you're here, then you're sinking, you're coming down, and then you're going to turn, then you're going to come down, and then you're going to turn. So your feet constantly are adjusting between here and here. But we learned that from here, right? Here, 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 here. Turn, cross, turn. We learned that in the second form, the first form. They're all cross step to winding and unwinding your legs. All of this sounds so simple, but the thing is, it's pretty complicated stuff where your legs have to twist and untwist, and so you got to build that into your system, like you program anything else into your brain. So over time, you start to your body will start to recognize it, and once it recognizes it, then your body, has evolved, and it becomes an ownership. You own those ideas, and once you have those ideas, you begin to see it a lot clearer when someone else does it, because now anything that you're doing, it's a reflection through your eyes when you see someone else. So if you're not doing it, you can't see that reflection because you don't really know it exists, and that's sort of why we miss it. Why do we miss this? Because we don't know that that's happening. But now that I point this out to you, you say, well, that's what's happening, then you start to say, okay, it's like another step. When you're in single whip and you hold the ball and you go like this, you can't just step up. You have to shift, come to center, and then step up, and then step up. So the shift is important. When you're opening the form, shift. Then you're here. The shift is before the hip. If you're here and you just turn the hip, you're going to be off balance. So you have to find, they call it gung, your central equilibrium, right? You have to always find your central equilibrium. So between this, and this is just like this, right? Here. Same idea. Yeah. J lady work shadow. Or you're turning here. Right. So that's like a stage of development that you have to bring into your body mechanics. If you don't bring it in, it's okay. So you want to do so the leopard. I saw Marguerite do a leopard. Remember the leopard in the 5 images when you come up 1, 2, 3. Your body, your cross step should be in the direction you're thrusting in. Yeah. Because this is your support. If it's over here, you're actually not going to be in the right position. It's called chappu. It's a step, and you twist your body to here. Then when you turn, it's the back fist. And then the sao chui. This is the hook. And then the sink and the lift. Now the first leopard is in the leaning stance. So you're forward like this, but you have to turn. Yeah. Yeah, the other hand's here, but you have to turn to reach out. So this is, see, anytime your front hand is into the front leg in a thrust, you have to turn your body. Yeah. Chop. Yeah. But here you have to come more forward. No. Just from here. Yeah. And here. No, yeah. More knee, yeah. Okay. Yeah, like that. Yeah. You have to chop like this. If you chop like this, chop. You don't have strength. The strength comes on the turn, and the strength in the reach comes on the front leg. Yeah. So you lost the direction of motion here. No, because just using this is the hand, right? I'm here. Then when I turn, I'm going to come to here, right? And when I come to here, then this is going to come down to here. Yeah. Then here, sink the elbow and lift. You catch, drop, and lift. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. See. 1. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what's missing on this side? You watch this hand, right? 1, 2. It's not 1, 2. Then this is not doing anything. You're here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the position, right? So the other hand. So what is that building? That's building secondary hand intelligence. When I'm here, it has to know what this is doing. Otherwise, how do we know where we learned it? You learned it through the form. You learned it through the transition. When we're here and we turn, there's your back fist, right? We have this back fist. We have it in gung kuen. When we elbow, we lift 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the same back fist as this, but there's a diagonal strike and a butterfly. This is a sao. This is a hook, or it's sao. So the hand comes over, but the pattern of movement is the same tracking as this because the two sides of the body is actually working in parallel or the same. See what I mean? So if I tilt my body, the hands are still doing that, right? It's like an airplane that turns the corner. The wings don't do that. They might do that, but they don't go. So when we do this, it's just because I change the angle of the position is here, in here, and it wasn't in line, they would miss. They would miss, but they're here. Those are similar, yeah, similar, yeah. Similar in concept that they're working, tracking in the same track. So, what's that? Oh, Charlie, yeah.
So if you compare this to like the northern language, the stance is almost the same. It's just this is.
Yeah. So because in the northern, their front hand alignment has to be like in Bambukun, you're like this. You're not like this. So northern and southern alignments, are slightly different when we're doing northern southern forms. But when we have a movement that's similar, like this lunge or this hand like that, it's the same because your body is the same that's going into that action. So the alignment is what gives your position strength. Without the alignment, then you have to muscle the movement. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but it doesn't have finesse. It doesn't have the imagery that we want.
The northern has these line movements, but then I'm like, wait a minute, that's kind of like what we have in the southern. But I didn't want to get because most of the time in the southern we're here. That's where we're just.
No, so in the southern, when we do the side profile, we're usually in a horse stance, right? If we do a 90-degree profile, we're like this, but that's weak, right? So to compensate for the weakness, we don't add more strength. We compensate by shifting like this. So now the hip goes this way and it balances this and this. Now the strength between the two. So when you have the strength and you tilt it, so this is here, and then this has to come to here, like this, so that this point and this point become one line. And that gives you not only the look, but it also shows you the balance and motion, because when you punch out to the side, this is going to actually like drawing a bow, but your elbow should be directly, no, the other way, yeah. So that means you have to release it here so that it cups this way. Now here, see what I mean? So the line goes from here to this point and this. So that's a control factor in the back shoulder. So when I'm here, I have to know to round my shoulder a little bit like that. So when you chun kyo, you don't pull it back. You actually cup the shoulder so it's here. Because this is really not connected. It's just going like that. So you don't have strength. When you do this, you're here. But this is where you get chambered to throw your punch. Because when you're here, this is here, already ready to do your directly from here. If you go like this, then you have to kind of figure out how it's going to get down to the point where you're going to do that. Yeah. That's what the manipulation of skeletal structure is. You set up your strength positions for execution. You have to prepare, set it up, and then execute. Prepare, set, execute. Yeah. A little higher. Yeah. What? Oh. So is the air conditioning working? It's kind of humid in here. Oh, yeah.
It's better than my house.
What? So. So do the knee lift in the leopards. Do the knee lift. Yeah. So do the knee lift in the leopard. In the 5 images when you do the knee lift. Yeah. So what's important in the knee lift? How your hands split. This hand goes up, this hand goes down, right? So when we So when we go like this, to make it so that you don't use strength, you rotate the body. So this and this just go up. Yeah. Just draw. And then initiate here and then turn. Yeah, turn. And then step down and lunge. Whatever way, it doesn't matter. Okay, do it. Lift and then lunge and punch. Okay, do it again. Right, lift. So how do we avoid the stepping down? How do we avoid sink? Right, you have to sink. Then you have a better placement, right? Bangbu kun? Not that much, not really. It's actually here, sink, step. Yeah. Okay, we'll bow. Ready? Up. 1, 2, and 3. Right? Okay. What? Turn the AC off?
To appreciate the AC. Turn it off and then we can